No disrespect, but I'm giving you guys like a super freaking legit, objective, step-by-step breakdown, and all of those things add up to, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the only angle we get of the thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, you made a response to this on Instagram already, but let's hear your take.
I would love to elaborate further than if you haven't seen the response on Instagram, go check out that quick analyzation on Moto Academy Instagram channel. I tried to break it down as quickly as I could in a minute and a half. First of all, very tough to analyze based on a first-person GoPro clip like that. But to preface this, I literally, for a living, analyze footage inside of the Moto Academy every single day of my life. So aside from an announcer at a Jeff Emig, somebody that's analyzed and broadcasted supercross races, outdoor races, I might even have more hours logged at this point than that. It's 4 to 5 hours almost every day. That adds up. That's a lot. So therefore, first person footage, third person, I have a lot of experience in analyzing that. Not only that, but I also have a lot of experience working with the slowest of the slow and the most inexperienced people ever to really understand like just the theory of like the basics of riding a dirt bike and being able to relate with them. And I've also raced at I've raced at the highest level. I mean, I've top 5 in Supercross, so I understand, and I've beat every single guy at one point or another that's won races. Eli Tomac, Ken Roczen, Justin Barcia. At one point or another, I have gone faster than them, even if it's just for a lap. So I can sort of relate to that speed. So I do think I'm a good person to analyze. I try not to give opinions because opinions in my mind are when somebody doesn't know something, because that's what an opinion is. It's your viewpoint on it. If you know it for sure, it's no longer an opinion. It's just a fact. So I will try to be objective. Can you argue me on certain things? Yeah, maybe. And comment below productively if you want to. First thing first, in the right-hander, and I talked about this in the Instagram clip, when Ferrandis pops in to the shot and you first see his front wheel, you have to remember that that's coming from his front number plate. So where Barcia's head is, he's going, and peripheral vision, not to mention, he's going to see Ferrandis before we do in the clip, meaning that he has more time to react and make the decision, am I going for this corner or am I not? A little bit earlier than we do. But even with that being said, playing that video in real time, from when you see Ferrandis come into the shot and the time Barcia has to react, that's plenty of time. That is a slow turn. In fact, it's the slowest turn on the track, I think. I've ridden at Budds Creek a bunch. It's one of my home tracks. That's a slower turn. Being a pro rider, he has Brembo brakes. He has some of the best brakes out there. He could stop quickly if he wants to. Clearly, he did not want to. Okay, so that's the first point is, should he have gone for it when he saw that tire come in? And was Ferrandis justified in making that move? Was he justified in making that move? Absolutely, because that corner, you had two options and you saw passes be made there, I think, is you could either follow the rut all the way down at the base of the awkward off camber, or you could square up early in the corner and shoot across, which wasn't necessarily a great race line. It probably took a lot of energy and was high risk. But if you wanted to get a wheel on somebody, that was the way to do it. So was he justified in doing that? Ferrandis? Absolutely. The next thing that happens is Ferrandis knows he has a wheel, so he darts to the inside, not trying to take the all the way inside in the corner, but just getting his handlebar or his bike all the way as far left to that yellow stake as he could. In Supercross, there's some situations where you would do that on the entry to a corner to just defend yourself, even if that means you swing wide in the exit, which naturally most of the time you're going to. As long as you block the entry enough, Usually that's the best way of defending yourself. So he does that. Once he does that, he essentially assumes that he's safe because he knows that Barcia has the only option to either hit the brakes and tuck in behind him, or he's going to be forced to cut the track. So I think that's where Ferrandis was like, people go, whoa, why did he go to the outside? I think he went to the outside because he thought it was over with. And I guess if he's racing Barcia, maybe you do have to assume, hey, maybe he would fly off the track and re-enter and still slam me. I should probably consider that an option. But I don't know. I think Ferrandis did everything that he had to do in the situation. Now, Barcia, like I said, had to make the decision to stop or go for it. He went for it and then jumped to the left. As soon as he was in the air on that, he knew where he was in relation to the stake. All he had to do was hit the brakes and just turn tight. The only thing that would stop him from doing that are two things. One, did he have enough time to stop that quickly before the far outside of the turn? Absolutely. And some people were trying to make that argument. Did he have time to stop before where he hit Ferrandis? That's absurd. That's Justin Barcia on some of the best brakes you can have. Yeah, absolutely. I could do that blindfolded. So Justin Barcia certainly can do it. The only other variable was that drop off that he clearly dropped off on the inside. Was that embankment so far of a drop and so steep that he had to accelerate hard off it so he didn't roll off and endo himself? I would guess no. Could you argue that and maybe go prove to me that that's a big drop off? Yeah, absolutely. But based on that clip and based on riding that track, no. So what's odd is I think that, and I love Justin, I think that was kind of interesting for him to post that thinking it would defend himself because in my mind it incriminated himself. Yeah. I know a lot of people didn't see it that way, but I think that they're wrong. I think that somebody that really knows how to analyze that shot knows what was going on.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Well,
because
okay, so in the video, it's clear as day that Ferrandis had a hella wheel on him in the corner. I mean, Barcia's front wheel like hit behind Ferrandis's forks. Like you can't tell me that Barcia had. I don't know. I don't think Barcia was in the right on that one. So his response.
Well, contact alone. I'm sorry to cut you off here. Contact alone, assuming that Barcia was on track. Let's say that Barcia never cut the track. Mm-hmm. Let's say he was on track the whole time. That's still an aggressive, borderline, almost dirty pass because it's happening at 90% of the way in the turn. He's chopping off the front part of his bike. Right. On a pretty high speed left-hand turn, it's high speed, the exit, because you're trying to get speed to jump down that hill. Especially the guys that were tripling it. But the point is he accidentally, he didn't jump to the left, I don't think on purpose, but when he was going to land, you know that you're not on the track anymore. So you can't just continue to go slam somebody.
Right. I mean, to be honest, like, okay, maybe unpopular opinion. The dude was barely off the track, whether he was off the track or not. I mean, like, him jumping
is it a big barrier or was it the little yellow stake?
No, it's bigger than one of the little ones.
Yeah, so that's...
Yeah, but also it's like that's not the part that I get hung up on. Right?
Oh, well, that's the only part to get hung up on, period, because he's off the track.
Yeah, see, I don't care.
Everything else is irrelevant if he's off the track, but go ahead.
Well, no, I don't know. I look at that. If I knew there was a rider, like, literally less than a foot to my right, coming off of a roller, like, yeah, I'm not going to dart to the outside line. That's ridiculous. Like, you should hook it through the middle, and then you can, like, drift, but you don't go for that rut way out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have cut the track the same way because it would have been a borderline sketchy and dangerous to do anything but because he was so committed early on in that. But then it's just making the simple decision to just not hit the guy.
Right.
Or even if you want to be extra fair, what I would do, and I know I'm guilty of being too nice when I race, but I would make sure that I didn't make the pass on the person and funnel them behind them going down the next hill just to kind of do a reset. I'd be like, well, I cut the track. Okay, like let's let this person get back in front of me in all fairness here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people watch that clip and they keep forgetting that he was off the track. If you picture that as Supercross, what's there?
Yeah, right.
tough blocks. Barcia then runs into the middle of all the tough blocks in that scenario, and he crashes. So it's like you gotta ride and race fairly. It's like that's like playing a board game and just blatantly cheating.
I mean, it's clear as day what should have happened. He should have landed, cut the corner, maybe to the middle, if not even tighter, and then they probably still would have come off that roller right next to each other. You know what I mean?
And if Barcia argued, I couldn't get stopped in time, and he really, really, really argued that, I guess I'd have to believe him. I just find it unlikely.
Yeah. I mean, what does the audio say?
Or what was his defense?
Okay, so here's what he says. He says nothing. Okay. He posted the video. He was the one who posted it.
Which good for him, regardless.
Yeah. So what he says, 3 sides to every story, his, mine, and the truth. Okay. Which is funny to me. Anyway, so here's the GoPro footage showing I didn't T-bone anyone and me going off the track and that the hit was a racing incident, is what he says. Yeah,
which, by the way, is good advice. Yours, mine, and the truth is typically true, very true.
But in this scenario, I'm not sure. Ferrandis,
I don't know. I guess we'd have to take a poll, and I don't hold many people's opinions with that much weight, to be honest. But I'd be curious from like the layman's side of things, watching it, what they think.
Right. I don't know.
No disrespect, but I'm giving you guys like a super freaking legit, objective, step-by-step breakdown, and all of those things add up to, you know,
right.
Like I don't take an opinion either way. I just look at it step by step, and yeah.
So now, did you see Ferrandis' post?
Yeah, but you want to read it?
Yeah. So he's on a certain side, clearly. All right, so Budds Creek Moto 2, I got T-boned by Barcia. Pretty normal from him. But this time he went off the track in the previous corner where I passed him. Gained time off the track. Debatable. And went straight into me and made me crash. At this point, I don't really care about that. I just wonder how can his team, sponsor, family, friends, trainer, fans, how can you support that? Yeah, he got disqualified, but he will do it again next weekend and every other race, and nothing will change. No sportsmanship and a bad image for our sport. I'm very sore today, blah, blah, blah.
So a couple things with that. I totally understand that opinion when you're the guy that just got knocked down. I think that the way he described it, and then when people saw the video, people were expecting something maybe more blatant. Mm-hmm. It's just somebody that really knows what they're looking at. It still looked pretty blatant to me, but maybe not as blatant as what you drop. Like, what do you drop in your mind when you hear that? You know, you see the picture of him crashing, you hear his description, and you picture a guy like flying across, cutting the track like by 3 seconds, and then teeing you up and squaring you off. So when people didn't see that video, I think there was outrage just over that fact alone, which is silly. But I think a hard disqualification is a good answer. As long as the team, like people,
that's a lot of money.
People have to hold. There has to be accountability there for sure. Like, I mean, he's an amazing rider. Barcia is an amazing rider, but you got to ride somewhat fairly, you know?
Right.
When you tee people up somewhat consistently, at least in recent times in the last 6 months, it's just not really the most fair way to ride.
Right.
Because there's a way to pass people aggressively, but not unfairly. And I think it takes I know that for me, if I was racing against somebody that was always doing that to me, which I've experienced in the past, there was this kid in arena cross my first year that I did it. Can't remember his name, but he was just fast enough to be just close enough to me on the first couple of laps that I would always have to have my head on a swivel because I knew that he would annihilate me if he had the chance. And that sucks.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because for fans could argue, it's fun to see that type of drama. Sure. But I would argue that it's more fun from a fan's perspective to also have everybody healthy at the races and all of the competitors there.
Oh, it's way more fun to watch what Chase and Eli are doing right now rather than people just taking each other out, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the defense to Justin, I think, is that is what makes him so special. Is I think if you take out that piece, he struggles to operate otherwise, because like, how do you draw that line? Like, he's so good because he's an animal. Mm-hmm. But you just gotta just think a little bit more before you do stuff, probably. And again, I've known Justin my whole life. I'm friends with him. So if he sees or listens to this, I would say the same thing directly to his face. And he's seems like a great person as well.
Oh, he's awesome. You know? Every interaction we've had with him, he's the man.
Totally. My dad went up and saw him. Yeah, my dad went up and talked to him at Foxborough and was all excited. I think he gave my dad a jersey, didn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he gave Tony Cat a jersey, an updated one, because we had one from when Justin was on a 65. Great person, amazing rider. Just gotta...
It was a little aggressive. And honestly, dude, if I were to give...
And it's fine. We're moving past it.
Right.
Who cares? But if it happened again and again, that's when you're like, all right.
Yeah, but it kind of does. You know what I mean? But the only thing is, like, in Barcia's defense, that could have been a situation where Ferrandis didn't fall. And then it's totally different. It's the fact that Ferrandis fell and then quit racing. That's where, you know what I mean? He literally went back to the pits. If he just, like, got bumped and kept going, then like this wouldn't even be a conversation. So I don't know. But it's fun to speculate, isn't it? Even though our opinions mean nothing to anything. But the fact is, he got disqualified is what it is.
If you guys want to see full episodes of this podcast, you can go to and subscribe to the motoacademy.com. When you get to the motoacademy.com, click Train Online, and inside of the app, we have full episodes where cameraman Cam and myself respond to users' riding footage and break down riding footage. We answer your questions. We talk about topics like this.
And give opinions that don't mean anything.
And give opinions that don't really matter. So go to the motoacademy.com. And Cam, I guess you could use that for all the other ones too if you want.